Yeah, I just got an error occurred for X. No, that says you're alive. Let's see. As long as we're recording. Funny.
Sweet. I'll tweet this out too. Telling Amy I've got a post-surgery dog, like just totally passed out.
Oh, we have a post-surgery cat.
Yeah?
Yeah, our cat had bladder stones removed last week.
Ooh. This was spay for us.
Okay.
You got the cone of shame?
Oh, she's got the cone of shame. But well, she just got her stitches out today. So but you're
nice.
Either one. Yeah. I was like, what were you going to do for a cat? I have never seen a cat with a cone.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's comical.
When Peanuts he had hip surgery and he had to have a cone. And it was funny, like him outside trying to smell because it's just like the whole cone.
Yeah, we couldn't put the cone on her, but we're like watching her like a hawk. Actually, we just like cut an old t-shirt and wrapped it around her like a diaper or like a Tarzan loincloth kind of thing. And she's been really good about not like licking and stuff. And I've been on her like, no, and she'll listen. We also have like period diapers left over. So we've been using that. It's been all over the place. And we have like a giant pink donut to put around her neck for nighttime. So we really don't have to worry. But yeah, that's what's going on over here.
All right.
I told Brad we talked about getting another dog, but we would do a Cavapoo, Chris.
I know
the King Charles family.
Yeah, we are obsessed with. We're obsessed now. Like we're going down a bad rabbit hole of. We now are looking at like a sister for him, and we can't. Like we're in a rental house. Like we already have maxed out the pets in our house. I don't know what our problem is, but they're just so darn cute.
Yeah. When you guys first posted the picture of that dog, I was like, dang, super cute.
We do the puppy cut.
The what?
The puppy cut. We keep Peanut's hair short. So I didn't know if you went for the long.
We're wanting it to go long. Here's the problem, because the ears get so long on the cavalier. Now he's getting a ton of knots. So Leah's having to go in and like cut out these knots. And it's like, all right. So now we have this like little conditioner we put in his ear. I'm like, what are we doing? We have conditioner for our dog's hair. This is crazy.
That's so funny. Well, and like with King Charles, they get Grinch feet where like their hair just
they do. It's so cute.
Oh, yes.
I do. We don't want to cut that. We think it's the most adorable thing.
You have a boy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I don't know if it's because Peanut had hip surgery, but we just have an issue where every time, like we have to wipe his paws every time he goes to the bathroom because it goes everywhere. So that's part of the benefit to the puppy cut is it helps hygiene.
Yeah, one thing that I learned was that the puppy phase of golden doodles, they actually have like a completely different coat. So they've got like a puppy coat and then it sheds and it turns into like an adult coat. But I miss the puppy coat because they are so just like this weird little fluff ball. And my brother-in-law has our dog's daughter. And so we got to, they got to meet up again over the weekend. Super cute having a puppy around again. But it's like, oh, the puppy's sniffing, take her outside to go to the bathroom. Oh, the puppy like sat down funny, take her outside to go to the bathroom. Oh, it's been 20 minutes, take her outside to go to the bathroom. Like it's just constant.
Yeah. Well, and we got Peanut during COVID. And so at that point, like Henry could kind of help stay on top of everything. But it's like right now he goes into the office, like half the week. So I'm like, I don't have time, especially if I have a meeting. I can't be watching a puppy to make sure all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, we can get started. Chris, you know nothing about what Brad and I talked about.
It's okay. I I'm always down to join and hang out. I love you guys are awesome. So I love hanging out with y'all and just talking all things tech and what's going
Well,
on in
and
the
as
world.
the title, what we've been obsessing over
I know.
lately. So who knows? Puppies.
Oh, okay. Before we go like on with the
Yeah.
podcast, I do have to say something to Chris. That Mario set I was building,
Yeah.
finished it. We're missing a piece.
But you said that Lego
It's gonna take like
Easy.
3 weeks. It was easy to
What?
put in the order. I just got like the confirmation. It's gonna be here in like 3 weeks. It's like, oh, I
What
don't want to wait.
what thing is it? Is it like the giant Mario
Mario
and
Kart.
Yoshi?
Yeah, it's the giant
Mario
Kart.
Kart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I need to look this up. Because Isaac saw one where it's like, I think it's Mario on top of Yoshi, I think.
That
Or like
it's
on a
like
tunnel.
pixelated. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
And that one's like the 18 plus $500. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it was 170.
Okay. Well, and my kids have been eyeing the Hogwarts castle, which is like $500. The big one. And then
That's nuts.
yeah, that's like that's not gonna happen. But there was another so Isaac has all the Mario stuff where it has the electronics built in with I don't know, I guess is that NFTs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even think it's NFC. I think it literally
NFC.
just is a barcode reader
Okay.
on the just plates. Yeah.
Yeah. My
Have you
acronym.
seen
Those are cool.
well, now I think you can get them now. Lego's the new Smart Block is out, and they're starting it off with the release of some
Star Wars.
Star Wars. So
Yes.
that if you have like the
So cool.
Empire and the Rebellion, and that makes all the noises.
Man.
It's pretty cool.
So what do the smart blocks provide? Like they can program it to do whatever. So now like if they're building sets, it's just many things are interactable.
Many things are interactable. It can detect what it is, what kind of sound it makes. I think you can customize it a little bit too. So like even if you have a little city, you're driving a little car around, it's making it way more interactive. I think it's a new way to but they're making it hard you can't just buy a block. You can buy the block individually, but you still have to buy a set to go along with the block. And then I think that block can be programmed with the set. But yes, more things to buy.
That'll be cool.
So fun.
I know. I'm in a mode of like collecting things right now that I can tinker with. It's just been my whole MO. This is a good time to start the podcasting and going on.
Let me find the song. I'm sure hopefully ARC will help me out. It's probably at 10 gigs. Where we at? Okay. There. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Compressed FM, a podcast all about web design and development with a little bit of zest. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about all the things that we have been obsessing over, whether that's AI orchestration or Raspberry Pis or Yoda players. Play.
Web development and design, who would have guessed? Well, we can do them both, even add a little zest. So turn up the volume, get ready for the best. Let's get it started in this episode of Compress.
Hello, my name is Amy Dutton, and I am a design engineer at Cloudflare.
Hey, y'all. My name is Brad Garapi. I'm a senior front-end developer at Cloudflare.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Nowicki, and I'm a developer experience engineer at Commerce.
I'm not even going to introduce you as a guest. I feel like a new
one of the gang, Chris Nowicki.
One of the gang.
One of the gang, just hanging out.
When Amy was like, "We should get Chris on today," I was like, "Wiki boy, yeah."
You know what I hear a lot is the Witwiki from Transformers.
What?
The guy's last name in Transformers is Witwiki.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I haven't
like
seen any Transformers.
Yeah.
It's been years since I
haven't seen one in years either, but I either get that or Wiki, like a little.
That's
DJ.
the one. Yeah.
We went to go see a Transformers movie the night before Isaac was born, and he was like going crazy because of all the loud surround sound and everything. So that's what
It's one of those movies where I kind of felt like stimulus overload, and I'm like, I could just go without all the screeching and the yelling and everything, and yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not obsessing over.
Not obsessing over
I don't
Transformers.
know. Oh man. Okay, so Brad, I know, has been going crazy lately over circuit boards.
And he got a light working yesterday, blinking light.
Yeah, look,
Let's talk about the
look,
blinking light, man.
Yeah. Okay, I don't
Plugging
mean
it
for
in.
this to be a mean question. What makes that hard?
It's not. It's
Okay.
it's not. But I'm also trying to understand,
Yeah.
like I did back in school, like what the current is, what the voltage is. I've been taking my multimeter and probing the circuit to make sure everything's set up right.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
eventually, I don't want to just follow some schematic and like, oh, this is the hello world of like, microcontroller
Okay.
programming. I want to be able to like build stuff for myself, put some sensors together, put some things together, understand how to like write the code. And so you need a little bit of knowledge there to get that going.
Do you have an idea? Like, I know you're exploring, right, how this all works, again, the understandings, but is there an idea in your mind that goes, you're like, I really have this idea, I want to build it, so I'm building up the foundations to this thing I want to build?
Nothing like super intense, but I think one of the first like mini things that I want to do is my kids got these like long LED strip lights that went around their bed that I put up a while back. But I have a bunch of extra ones and like this giant strip, like 40 feet long. And so I want to see if that header fits into the Pi. And if not, if I can like make a header that would fit into the Pi or just connect it to GPIOs and drive it. And I want to be able to like hook that up to the Pi and have like a distance sensor hooked up so that if I put my hand near the distance sensor, the lights will go, "Ooh," you know what I mean?
That's cool.
So just like that's kind of like my first bigger integration, but then it can naturally just go from there. However many sensors you want to put in or like whatever, you can just hook up together. So
You know
I'm
what?
not driving towards anything huge, just getting the tools to like stick things together.
Since you got a light working, it'd be fun to build? Is what if you could build a little, like, I don't know if you have a 3D printer or whatever, but like, what if you built
This
like a
this
little
is my excuse to get a 3D printer
Ah,
later
there you go.
after I need
Okay,
enclosures for all
okay.
this stuff.
So here's what you do, right? You build like a Raspberry Pi thing that turns on a light and the light different colors. So if you're recording right now, you put it outside your door
Yeah.
and you press a little button on your Stream Deck and it turns on and then your family knows, okay, you're recording right now. Don't come in. That would be a cool like little light use case, huh?
I also have the Hue SDK that can do this too. So I built an SDK for Hue lights.
Oh.
And I hooked it
that's
up to my
right.
Twitch chat, and Twitch would be able
Nice.
to change my color. So I could essentially use that and have like a color changing light bulb out in the living room, if I wanted to.
But
But
it's not a custom
this-
3D printed
It's not a custom,
circuit that
yeah,
you
exactly.
created.
Yes.
Uh,
And it could be Wi-Fi too. Like that thing could run off a coin cell battery on
Yeah.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
with an ESP32, and then it's like just listening. Another thing I want to do is connect this to the internet, and with a Cloudflare tunnel, open this up, write a web server that other people can control these lights.
Yeah.
Just like interesting integration points, and I want to like build out a couple little projects like that.
It reminds me of the episode. Do y'all ever see Big Bang Theory? You ever watch Big?
Yes.
Sporadically.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with Big Bang Theory. Just in general, I've been obsessed for years. I've seen it over and over and over. It's always on play. There's that one episode where people get control of their lights. Like, ooh, look, someone from China is turning on and off our lights, and all. It makes me think about that.
I need to go watch it all the way through because I'm sure it's things like, oh, that's so lovely. There it is blinking. I need to watch it all the way through because I'm sure there's stuff that I'm like, these are the people I work with.
It's so funny. My my wife and I made a deal. I watched the Gilmore Girls with her from
Okay.
beginning all the way in because I'm like, I don't get the obsession, and actually kind of got invested in it. And then we flipped on it, and I said, okay, now let's watch Big Bang Theory in the first couple episodes, and now she imitates Sheldon all the time. It's great.
He's so good.
So good.
One of our all-time favorite shows, I would say, that we've watched together. Big Bang Theory for sure.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
you're right now obsessed with this circuitry stuff. And your Yodo. Talk about Yodo.
I got this before we move on. I got this giant set of stuff. And like this is all the stuff I want to try to integrate. I mean, you're talking keypads, 7-segment displays, full-on LED screens. You can really do a lot. And I did a lot of this in college. but I'm just like trying to bring all of it back.
Is your son interested at all? Because I know you guys have done the cars.
Yes, I feel like he was like really checking this out the other day, and I finished this late, like super late last night. But I want to like start walking through this with him because he has an engineer brain for sure. And so if I start showing him this stuff, I think he'll get really excited.
That's so cool.
And the code to do this is stupid simple. Like all you're doing is driving ones and zeros through these outputs. And like even if you do need to do some I2C communication or like serial communication, the libraries are like really, really easy. It just handles
It's all
it for
Python,
you.
right?
It's all Python, and Raspberry Pi has a library called GPIO0, and like you can control everything with like super declarative interfaces like button.toggle, LED.blink,
Oh,
and
that's
like it just
awesome.
handles all of it for you.
That's awesome.
So like that is not the hard part. I feel like the harder part for me at this point is like getting the circuits right, and then the code is just gluing it all together. Yeah,
Wow.
step one. It's been fun.
Step one, get
That
the
stuff
light
is
blinking.
so over my head.
I have an Arduino like in my closet that I've never opened and played around with because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And now watching Brad do all this, I'm going, oh well, maybe I'll bust it out and do something.
And the cool thing is like the Pi is nice because it's not just a microcontroller.
Sure,
You know,
can do
it's
so
also
much
like
with it.
a full-on operating system in there. So you can run more things. And so that's why I like these kind of like IoT type things where,
Yeah,
you know, you can run a web server, get requests in and like do something with the hardware. That'll be my next thing, is like opening it up to the internet. That sounds fun.
that's cool.
And then you have your Yoda player.
Yeah, that was like my first big project this year. I'm doing good on my goals at this point.
You are, man. You're not every week.
Yeah.
Knocking it out.
Yeah. The Yodo stuff it's just hard to manage for parents if you're like you're either spending a ton of money on these like Yodo cards, but not me. I'm just like, no way. I want like audio to upload to this player. And of course, like nobody has MP3s anymore. Everything is streaming now. So the only way to kind of get audio is to rip it off YouTube. And so I essentially rebuilt the entire Yodo UI around the concept of like taking a YouTube video, ripping the audio, and then sticking that onto like a card. And I think the coolest part of this was just like I needed a place to run like a long-running node server so that I could run YouTube DL and FFmpeg. And I used Cloudflare sandboxes. It's just like it spins up a Docker
great.
container with all your stuff, runs the workload, spins down. And it's been awesome. It was like super easy to get started. I got AI to kind of figure out the whole like Docker compose situation, which was just like install a couple packages. And then the script that was on there was like really simple because you write it inside your worker, where it's like you get the sandbox and then you like execute code in the sandbox context. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Are you gonna?
And it scales. So you could like spin up, let's say I was like downloading 20 songs. I could spin up 20 sandboxes and run them all in parallel and then shut them all down.
So it only spins them up for when it needs it, and then
Yes. So it's
what's
like
that spin up time?
Better than you might think. It's pretty quick. So like definitely less than a minute for sure.
That's not bad at all.
But yeah, and I think they keep some of them warm too, like depending.
Maybe it like looks the last time you use it. If it's used frequently, it keeps it warm, and if it hasn't been used in a certain period of time, it just kind of
Something like that. And so it's all built on like containers, which is like another Cloudflare way to run Docker containers. So it's like I always view it as like durable objects run on a worker, and then like sandboxes run like on a container. So it's like taking the primitive and moving it up one step to be like a little thing you pull off the shelf, use, and then throw it away when you're done.
nice.
That was all vibe coded, which is cool.
But you said the last 20%, 10% was hard.
In a sense of like I really had to get into the code and start telling it what I wanted. Like, hey, the way we're sending these server sent events for loading like tracking the uploading of songs isn't the way I would expect. So I had to break down like the loading states I wanted to see, talk about what events and phases there are, and like how to get it to do exactly what I wanted it to do. Because first pass wasn't perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Chris and I are doing faster.dev
Love
with
it.
Aaron Francis. So I've gotten through almost all the content, which I feel really good about because there's been so many courses that I've bought and then have not done anything with. So
I'm still going through Kent Dodd's MCP course. Like I made it through 3 lessons, and I'm like, not that it's bad, it's great. His stuff is awesome. I just get pulled in 20 billion directions.
Yes. So I feel good about the fact that I'm like, I actually went through it. So that's, I think the most helpful thing about his curriculum right now is that he gives you like 62 skills that you can use. Now, some of them I'm not going to use. It's like Init, Swift.
Some
Well,
are
I'm not.
gold.
Actually, that is one area where I'm like, I would love to vibe code a mobile app.
Yeah.
But like some of these other languages, I'm not intending to use, but he has set up scripts for that. But some of it's also just changed how I'm thinking about AI and orchestration right now, and have been experimenting with different stuff. So I've been doing a little bit more with Cloud Code. Cursor has been my default, my go-to. But I've kind of been rotating through, and some of it has to do with credits, just trying to, man, the Claude Pro Max plan is tempting, but I'm not pulling the trigger on, I think don't you have it, Chris? I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I'm still
On
the
what?
the Claude Pro Max or whatever the plan
I
is.
had Pro
$20
Max
plan.
for 1 month. So
Okay.
the TLDR is my boss, they didn't have it as an offering yet in Commerce.
Mm.
So I was like, hey, go buy it and we'll expense it. And
nice.
so then I bought it and I expensed it, and then I got my hand slapped for buying
Mm.
software, and I still got reimbursed. But then now we have an enterprise license with Claude
Nice.
through Commerce. So I downgraded to the Pro. So
Okay.
and I really haven't had an issue with any rate limits or stuff like
Mhm.
that, because I'm really using Sonnet for most of this day-to-day
Mhm.
questions and stuff, and then I'll use Opus when I'm in the CLI.
Sure. Well,
but,
and I love co-work too.
Cowork is great.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've been obsessing over, is like, how can I use Cowork? So
Can you explain to me what it is? Because I like have
Mhm.
no experience with any of the
Yeah.
cloud
So
stuff.
I would say co-work is like, if you are familiar with OpenClaw and you're like, that sounds really interesting, but one, I don't have a Mac Mini laying around. Two, I'm not sure how I feel about spinning up a VPS,
Mhm.
just trying to give it all the credentials. And three, I would rather it still be in a protected environment. That's Cloud Code work. So you can run all of that stuff on your machine. It has access to everything. So I can say like, hey, here's a directory that, yes, I will give you permission to, and it can go do something. So for example, one of the things that I do with my bookkeeping every year is I have an Airtable sheet with all of my expenses in it. And I still go ahead and enter everything into QuickBooks. Right now, I would love to give it access to QuickBooks, but I don't really trust it. But I did say, hey, here is an Airtable sheet. Go ahead and here's my statements. Just upload all the expenses. And the reason I do that and keep it separate than QuickBooks is probably dumb. I just like being able to sort and manipulate things a lot better than trying to navigate QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a disaster, in my opinion. And so having to go through all that and feeling like I'm doing double duty with the work and entering everything in twice, it was nice just to be like, here's an Airtable, go at it. And within like 5 minutes, it had uploaded 6 months worth of expenses, which is crazy that it can just do it that fast and extract all of that data from a PDF. And it said at the end, like, hey, I got everything uploaded, and guess what? All the numbers match. And the fact that it can like double check, whereas like I'm not double checking the numbers necessarily, just on the Airtable. I will on QuickBooks, but stuff like that was really helpful.
What about like not just like file operations? Can it like read and write text messages or emails or do calendar stuff? Like that to me is where a lot of value comes in.
It can. It has integrations. I agree. Tessa in the chat kind of said like Cowork is pretty trash. Honestly, it's getting it isn't the greatest and most reliable. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's like the stable, most amazing thing in the world. I would say that it has integration. So for example, yesterday I'm in the process of moving most of my notes and everything that I do to Notion, because and I've gone back and forth between Notion and just using Apple Notes and all this sort of stuff. The reason why is because I want to be able to easily find, like, if I have an area of coding and I want to keep a bunch of stuff, right? And it's easier to use, but I'm not using it as my task manager at all. I'm not. Just as project management, content, as I'm getting into more content, stuff like that. So what I did was I installed the Notion connector, which is their MCP server, and I used the chat to kind of come up with a PRD for, like, here's what I want for a dashboard operating system, and come up with something that I can prompt Cowork to go and do. And so then I pasted that into Cowork, and Cowork went through the MCP. It created the databases, it created the views, it created the dashboard. Now, what it didn't do was where it was doing the relational structures between, it can't do the relational items. So you have to go in, but it tells you, hey, I can't do these things. And I think that's where Amy and I were talking yesterday about what's the difference between using the Notion MCP server versus the new Notion workers that they announced. And I think their workers have more ability to do things that aren't exposed in the MCP tools that Notion has. I think it's just trying to figure out what works where. There's another instance where at work, we're migrating all of our docs sites to a new platform, and I wanted to not scrape, but I kind of wanted to go through the usability of our current doc site. And so Cowork has a Chrome plugin, their Chrome MCP, and it went in there, it opened up a tab, it did all the research for me, pulled up a bunch of stuff, gave me some ideas, and I was able to kind of find some hidden areas and stuff like that. So it's good, but I agree that it's not the most stable quite yet.
Well, and I did see something the other day that was pointing out, as fast as they were able to move and build out Cowork, like, I think they had just agents build it within 10 days. Yeah. And looking at some of just the stability and their outages, it's like, okay, you can deliver fast, but here's the thing: how stable is it?
Even last night, I was chatting with it on my phone with Claude, because I saw. Okay, this is going to sound really weird. I've been obsessing over chairs too. We'll talk about that later. But like, I have lower back pain, and I found this chair company that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want this chair, and it's made for people with low back pain. And so I had Claude help me come up with a pitch, and I sent it to them over Twitter. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a $2,000 chair.
Nice.
But as I was typing to it, it said, okay, here's what we're going to do. And, and then I said, cool, let's do X, Y, Z. And it said, error, rate limit, error, can't find it. And all of a sudden, my entire Claude crashed. And I went to go look at the downtime, and it just had, it's constantly. I actually unsubscribed. I subscribed to their outages, and then I unsubscribed because it's just constant.
They were noisy. I think one of the things, though, that like they're doing well is they're making products out of AI, out of agents, out of things, right? Because all too often, like, us as developers are just like, cool agents, and we get really deep into the configuration and stuff. But like, I think we've passed that. We know how to define agents. We know how to use them. We know how to use sub agents. We know how to do all this markdown stuff. But now it's like we're looking up and being like, okay, how do we like use this effectively when there's more than one of them? How do we start scaling this? And initially, like, work trees were the answer. And, I think Claude just got work tree support. And work trees are like, okay, but like, let's be real. What you really want are like isolated development environments with an agent and a development environment somewhere in the cloud. And then you want that accessible on your computer, on your phone, whatever. And I think that's where things are going. And this next level is orchestration. What have you guys like done or seen with orchestration?
Yeah, some of this stuff is like things that I want to experiment with. But first, I would just kind of underline your point. I saw a article on X this week where the Cursor guys had written up just the different phases of AI, how it started with tab completion. Like that was the thing, is this is so much better than just a like TypeScript tab, like the fact that we can predict what you want. And then it morphed into more of like AI, like I'm going to ask AI to do one thing, but then you're just dealing with one thing at a time. And then now it's like, okay, let's take that a step further and we're dealing with agents and orchestration. So I feel like it's kind of been this evolution over the past year and a half. So it's been kind of interesting to see how that's evolved. And I think that just kind of underlines the point that you're making. One thing that I want to try, speaking of Cursor, that I haven't tried yet was Kent C. Dodds had posted on X. He was like, people are asking how I'm coding on my phone, and this is it. And he just sends it off to Cursor. Cursor handles it in the cloud, but then it sends him screenshots and a video, which is crazy, of somebody going through and using the feature that he's requested. So I'm curious how good that is. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I want to try that too.
But the other thing, I don't know how you guys feel about this, is I'm going to sound like such an old lady, and I don't mean to be anti-AI, because I really do enjoy it and I don't want to go back. But there's also a part of me that's like, I'm glad I don't have to solve these problems anymore, but then I kind of miss solving the problems. Like that's when you get this dopamine hit of like, I had this really hard problem and I figured it out. I am amazing. I can conquer the world. And it's like a different feeling now. It's like, yes, I'm accomplishing stuff and delivering features, but you don't get that same enjoyment. Like it's just a little bit different. I don't know if you guys experience that. And it's almost like I've almost been, I don't want to say apathetic, but I've lost a lot of motivation to build certain things because I'm like, well, there's not a problem for me to solve.
Because you could press a button, or you literally press a button, tell it, hey, I want to build this thing, and here's what I want. And then, 10 minutes later, you have a working,
crazy.
It's weird. I think a lot of people are feeling that, honestly. I mean, from last year, being able to just go in and code, and you have the tab, like it's what we were talking about at the beginning. It started with tab autocomplete. People were like, we're checking that out. And that was cool. It's like, okay, I'm still writing the code. I'm still solving a problem, but moving a little bit faster. And I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Lee Rob or if someone mentioned on Twitter somewhere at some point in time that we're going to get to a point where you're going to have all of these apps that are vibe coded with no one knowing how to maintain them, the infrastructure, the thing, because they don't understand about the foundations. And I think we're going to get to a place where people who understand the foundations of programming is still going to be needed for that orchestration. So that, like, yes, you could say, I want to do this thing, create me this app that does this thing. But if you don't understand all the stuff that goes on behind it, then how are you going to maintain it long term?
I have a ton of thoughts here. I very much agree with Chris that you still have to understand all the code. Just because you can send an agent at something and it can make a PR doesn't mean it's the right PR in any way, shape, or form. That's why my primary way of interacting with agents right now is human in the loop. But I don't miss solving the problems. Sometimes that's what pissed me off about programming, is like this stupid use effect, and I'm cascading props through 8 levels, and how do I untangle all this crap? AI can do that. They can fix that. But you have to be the one saying, this isn't a good pattern. I sense prop drilling over here. We could probably use a context at this level. Why are we, stringing this code this way? You get to architect, but then you snap your fingers and it's done. So you get to make these engineering decisions, and you don't have to go through the toil of like hitting your head on every rock on the way, right? Of like, oh, whoops, I caused a type error, this or that. But then, okay, you have to have the engineering skills. But then what is also valuable now, so like senior engineers become very valuable. What also becomes valuable, and I think like even more so now, is like the product-minded role. Because code and technical prowess is no longer the limiting factor, what to build becomes the value that the company brings. Nothing else, right? We can all write the code now. So like just who can snap their fingers and make the right thing appear on the screen. So product and design, arguably, are like the two most important things now. And guess
And
what?
product
My
managers.
PMs and designers are submitting PRs now. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
we're in a new world. Engineers aren't that special anymore, but like we still
Which
have
goes
to
to
hold a
say,
lot of control over
like,
code and quality.
But
how
isn't that
much
the
human in the loop do you have to have? Like at that point, I know you're like, I have human in the loop, but like how much it's getting, you were, you had said the other day that the feedback you got on your orchestration workflow was people just saying, I've turned into a yes man.
Yeah. Yes, but
yes.
that just means it's a good workflow and it's doing what it should be doing. But at the
But
same time,
still.
okay, even if we get agent orchestration, which I really want to go deep and talk about what I think agent orchestration should be, even if we get agent orchestration, in my head, it's not have 10 robots just churning out PRs. It just makes it easier to manage multiple things in flight. I want agent orchestration to me means chat windows that I can just go to at any given time, watch it streaming what's going on, and I can jump in and say whatever I want and stop it and check. And that could all still be human in the loop. That could be a toggle button where this chat agent stops, it dings me, and I can go there, do the next prompt. Or you could have a chat agent running autonomously, let's say something handling sentry errors, support tickets, something like that, where like you probably don't need to go handhold it that much. It's going to do what it's going to do. You just approve what happens at the end. But like feature development, you kind of need to be in there involved at every step. So the goal for orchestration for me would not be like to just press yes on the PRs that come out the other side. It just makes it easier to run many things at once.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you see? So the Harvard Business Review put out an article maybe within the last week or so where it was talking about how people that are using AI really like this, that are going hard after orchestration, delivering all the things, that it's like AI is not delivering on the promise of giving us more time. The people that are really using AI actually have less time. And it's stuff like this where it's, hey, I have 5 minutes before I go to lunch. I'm going to see how many things I can kick off so they can work while I'm gone. Or it's like, I just that one more thing. I'm going to get one more thing in, one more prompt so that I can walk away. And it's talking about how people are actually getting more drained through these flows. Have you felt that?
AI burnout. Yes. And actually our team is starting to talk about it because our team
Really?
is one of like the more involved teams with like running agent workflows. We're starting to feel that like, oh, just send a prompt. Oh, just send a prompt. Like, oh my, it needs to be chugging. And I feel that because sending a prompt always feels good because like you're gonna get something back and you're like, yeah, that's what I wanted. Like your dopamine hit comes from that response where it's like, I did it,
Yeah.
you know? And it does feel that way. And that's why I haven't like put it on a phone or anything. And like
Yeah.
Chris, you said you were like texting from your phone. Like that to me feels like an even bigger draw. Like you can always be doing something.
Yeah.
Okay, so my one other thought, and I want to get your take on this. Right now, the design, I think she's a design lead at Anthropic. She used to be the director of design maybe at Figma. So she like was huge on creating FigJam. She kind of built all the workflows with Dropbox paper. Just like very talented. And she has a talk right now. I think she's also on Lenny's podcast, and we can include links in the show notes. But talking about how the process has changed. Don't trust the design process. And her argument is that this idea of having to do user research, go in and design the things, do prototypes, hand it off to like the whole process is messed up. Don't trust it. And she was saying the best things are when you just kind of go build it and then it's done and it works great. My take on it, and we'll see if this is this is even accurate, is I don't think the process is entirely gone. The cycle is just shortened because I think you still have to have the context of, say, like user research to know what to build. So in that aspect, you might not be having to go through, pull all these people in the conversations. You might not have to go through the whole process and length, but you do have to have the context in your brain to know how the product works, to know which features you should be driving or how that works. But that's just my take. Maybe she'd agree with me and just say, yes, that's a different process, but I feel like you still need the context of the process.
So okay. So if implementation is driven to zero, implementation cost is driven to zero, essentially what now becomes most important is the feedback loop. So what drives you to implement whatever you're going to implement.
Right.
And that can come from many different avenues. One of these avenues is like user feedback or user wants. Heck, you could probably automate some of that too. We have a tool internally that watches all of our social media and what people are saying, and you could probably categorize that into kind of blobs that could then get iterated upon. And then what you do is you measure either funnels, if they're going through and purchasing or doing what you want, or if they're like utilizing the products that you expect them to use. And then you can like essentially tell the AI, do something from this pile of things that you think might move the needle on these metrics. And so your metrics are like your source of truth. Is the thing I'm doing working or not? So it's really important to measure the right thing. And then like you need a mechanism to gather user feedback or user activity, and then you choose what you optimize. And I think that's the hard part is like, we're not optimizing for, let's say at Cloudflare, we don't want to optimize for page views or anything. We don't necessarily always want to optimize for like product purchases because the AI might just kind of like always throw upsells at you. You want to optimize for like the customer happiness or customer success, or are they getting from A to B and like enabling themselves? And sometimes that comes from like metrics and charts and graphs. Other times it comes from like people's feedback and what they're saying on social media. So as long as you're gathering the input, implementation is free. You just choose what kind of output you want to affect. Free edge.
Yeah. Something I thought about while you were talking about your PMs are now submitting PRs. I mean, we're seeing this even at our organization where, PMs are now enabled to actually get the starting point of when they're trying to showcase, hey, I want to do this feature, right? All right, they can now they can go and use all the AI tools to do it, have a working version to showcase, not just a diagram, but hey, here you go, and then pass it off to engineering to then polish up and do whatever they need to do, right? And so the question that becomes, are engineers now going to turn into a hybrid of engineering's product managers or just orchestrators? Or both?
Both.
I think both.
For sure, we're going to move into like more of a product-y role. That's, I mean, we're already getting us to do that on our team. Yeah. Is like, hey, what do you think we should work on? And can you just take a stab at making this better? And again, it's assuming that like time to implement is shrinking. Therefore, the cost to try something is much lower.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, I want to talk about my ideal agent orchestration dashboard. You guys
dive on into it.
Have you ever thought about it? Like what it would look like? And
no.
You haven't?
I saw recently someone posted.
Amy's surprised. You haven't? You haven't been thinking about agent orchestration dashboards? What?
Like what? Like this is not. Brad's like, wait, what? Yeah.
We invited you to the podcast. How could you not be thinking about agent orchestration dashboards?
I saw someone post a tool on a like a Kanban board for your agents.
I'm sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We can't stop laughing.
Sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine.
Take it away.
I love that Chris is like, can you even hear me?
No, I can't calm down now.
All I was going to say is I saw someone post a thing on a Kanban board for agents where they can track their agents. And then at the very end, it's like, okay, they write a to-do and the agent will go and grab it and do it. And then it stops at a point where you can go and then preview the thing that they're doing. So that's all I've thought about. But when I dream at night, I'm not dreaming about orchestration dashboards.
Because we have very different dreams.
Apparently. That's okay though.
Oh man, one of my favorite workflows. Uh, I hesitate. Well, I don't know if it's favorite. Linear is so interesting in how they're handling it right now because you can basically add all of your tickets, and then if you want AI to work on it, you
Mhm.
also assign the ticket to whatever model you want to look at it,
Yeah.
and it'll
Yeah.
just go like look at the ticket and go run it, and then
Yeah.
issue the PR, you can go look at it. So to me, I mean that's kind of my ideal. At that point, you could get every single ticket handled. Just, add the agent. But where I think it falls short for me, and why I keep coming back to Cursor and have been bullish on it is just like as it's doing things, whether that's the Cursor agent or even if I'm using Claude Code within Cursor, is that it will pull up files and allow me to use that. And so it feels more of the human in the loop aspect. Or if it's like AI did this thing and I'm like, I just want to tweak it a little bit. There's no need for me to issue a prompt to say, will you change the padding by 2 pixels, by 2 more, by 2 more? Like that feels hard if you're asking an agent to do it or you're doing it through this completely abstracted, like linear flow. It's a little bit
Yeah.
easier to like manage and review all of that within Cursor. So I feel like if we can get somewhere in between that, lovely.
I think Linear,
So
side note, just updated their website to showcase all of this stuff too. I think Linear just
And I'm sure, as I'm thinking about it now, Linear has a great MCP server that I've used. It's
Mhm.
so lovely.
it's
That
so
I'm
good.
sure I could just go to Cursor and say, kick off these things, and then just have a bunch of agents running through Cursor that go grab everything off of
Yep.
Linear and pull it back in. It just feels like another dependency. I think that's the only rub.
Yeah, I think what would be nice, because there's so many, I think that's a valid point, the dependencies. There's so many entry points to do a thing, right?
Mhm.
I can ping my Cursor and Slack to do something. I can ping Claude and Slack to do something. I can ping Linear and Slack to go do something. And I think it would be if what you're saying about Linear, I haven't looked too much into it yet, but by tagging a specific thing, saying, okay, Linear, create an issue for this specific chat message and assign it to this agent. And then it goes, now Linear's deciding what agent it's going to use, whether it's Cursor or whatever model, whatever. And then it goes and does the thing rather than, okay, at Linear, go create the ticket. At Cursor, go and implement said ticket, right? Kind of just all in one. I don't know. Seems a little bit more efficient.
I like that idea of like addressable from anywhere. I think that's going to be a key to this going forward. You need to be able to start work from your DMs, from your emails, from a Sentry issue, kind of anywhere you need to start work. My vision is essentially a Kanban board, kind of like Linear, right? Where each ticket can be started. And when you start a ticket, when you drag it into in progress, the agent kicks off and the agent makes a branch, starts coding. Then when you're looking at your Kanban board and you click on a ticket, it essentially opens up what would be, let's say, the open code UI, like the desktop UI. You're watching the chat flow through, you're seeing the diffs, and then, hey, a browser view would be great too, right? Like if that's what it is. And so basically every ticket is a portal to the live chat session where you can go in and do stuff. Now, these tickets move if it's a human in the loop interaction, they move to like a state that is like waiting for human input. Goes to that column, and then your work is to show up, open up your Kanban board. You're either starting a new ticket to putting it in progress, or you're looking at the one sitting in human in the loop review section, popping into the chat, hitting enter. It jumps back to like chugging along, and then it gets to a review point where, guess what? Another AI reviews it,
Yeah.
or like when it hits review, it drops like preview links in chat or something like that. And workflows can be kicked off from pretty much anywhere. Just a description, and you at the bot and tell it go, and it starts a ticket and puts it in progress or something. But yeah, like work management is going to get married with like agent execution and a ticket now represents like a portal to like the actual job getting done.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I 1000%.
That's my take. And I got to get on some calls with the folks from Windsurf and talk to them about like a new product they're building, and they're like, "Keep talking, dude. Like, we want to hear what you think because this is like what we're driving towards." Hard sick.
I need to show you Cursor's Flow, because they have it where you have the chat panel, but you can also get like basically another sidebar nav for all your agents. So you just kick off all these agents and then you just have the sidebar and it'll tell you when it needs something. But I mean, if I'm doing something like a repetitive task where I'm having it generate, say, markdown files for me, I've gotten like 20 agents going, which is so nice just to go down the list. And because I mean, nothing's interfering. They're all just creating their own individual
Independent.
files.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so lovely.
That's
and
the
then
thing
you
though, when you're
go down
if you're
through.
working on like a big enterprise type project or like a dash,
Mhm.
you know, like let's say the Cloudflare dashboard I always go back to is like there's going to be so much overlap, and it's very like it's not necessarily independent. And so everything needs to have an isolated environment.
Yeah.
This is why I like Cloudflare primitives, like agents. It's like, boom, isolated environment, go do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I know agents also supports live streaming chat and all that stuff. So like the primitives are there. Somebody, Cloudflare, just needs to productize this workflow of development. I mean, this is the next Jira. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't see Atlassian getting any closer to this at this
Like
point.
linear.
Linear's getting closer to this. Yeah. I mean,
I think
also
Linear's
think
closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cloudflare can build this. We have the primitives, but yeah, I feel like this is what's next. This is like the real next banger product.
Mhm. And I feel like several people are trying to build that at the same time.
Yes.
And some of
Side
it just
project type stuff, I
depends.
feel like.
Yeah, some of it also just depends on like how they want to approach it. So you have things like Codex where you can kick off several things. I haven't used their GUI yet, but from what I've seen, screenshots, it's similar to Cursor. You can just go down the list. And obviously, that's using the OpenAI models. You have Cursor that's kind of they do have Composer, but you're also tapping into
Yeah.
somebody else's models. So the question becomes like, do you have your own model and use these workflows to support your models? Or do you like use API keys and just say, hey, yeah, we're going to give like $2 billion to Claude every month? I don't know. I just
Yeah.
know that Cursor is writing a huge check to these companies every month to use their stuff.
You know what I think is kind of fun in this new environment? Like I know we're talking about, oh, it's going to replace everyone and all. I'm seeing a huge influx in people building their own personal tools.
Yeah.
So rather than buying a tool, going, you know what, I'm just going to make something
Yep.
simple. And I have a great plug for this later when we do plugs. But like, I just think that's a lot of fun. Now people are like, I'm thinking, my family came to me the other day, like, what if, you know, our nephews take turn, our nephew and nieces take turns sleeping over at auntie and uncle's, you know, every weekend because they live 10 minutes away, right? But they all argue who did it last. So I'm coming up with like a little family app of which kids stayed where last, so they can't argue at who was where last. I mean,
do it for the front car seat, in the car,
right?
Front
Oh
seats.
yeah.
Like
all the
who
time.
gets the front seat, like something like that, right? And then so
Yes.
my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, whatever can go and be like, okay, it's this kid's turn next to sleep over. Do you want to, or do you forfeit it over? Like kind of game, you know, like chore, you know, do chores for them, whatever. So like that, I think that's fun, right? So now we can just vibe code those things for fun, and we're solving a problem, not necessarily the coding problem of how to do the thing, but we're solving an overall problem. I think we're going to see more of that rise up in these environments of these really cool ideas of people's personal problems that people can relate to. You go, oh, yeah, that's a cool idea. Anyway.
Yep.
I was gonna hold this for a potential, but I'll go ahead and share it. There is a podcast called The Pragmatic AI by Matt Stoffer. He runs an agency called Titan. Like, yeah, actually, not like, I love it because it's kind of a play on words, but it's like, I'm going to tighten something versus like the Tennessee Titans.
Gotcha.
But actually, this is where Adam Wathan worked at this agency. It's a Laravel agency. He worked before he went out on his own. So Matt has strong ties with Adam, obviously, because they work together. And then Jeffrey Way, who does all the education stuff for Laravel. And I was trying to think who else. Oh, he's good friends with Aaron Francis because Aaron also just has a Laravel background. So those are actually the 3 people that he interviewed in the first 3 episodes of this podcast. But he has been talking to these guys about kind of the problems that they've run into with AI. So with Aaron, obviously doing database stuff, the education space kind of shrinking. People don't necessarily care about that. Offhand it to AI agents. Okay, I'm pivoting to talk about AI education. So that was kind of like Aaron's episode. Or Adam, as we know, he's like, I've got to let go half my team because people aren't buying Tailwind products. They're not coming to our documentation. We've lost our marketing, streams, that kind of thing. What do I do? I'm having to get more corporate sponsorships and talking about their next thing. With Jeffrey, he was talking about how Laracast has been on a steady decline from the education standpoint, and just talking about, okay, what do we teach now? Are we all just going to teach AI agents? Like, what happens? So some of this stuff is really interesting, but they were talking about that personal software piece too, where Jeffrey actually gave the example during his episode where he was like, I have a friend where his son asks, how do rockets work? And so they vibe coded an app that explained how rockets work. And there's different things that they can trigger to say, if this doesn't happen, then the trajectory of the rocket's going to change, or this won't blast off. And he's like, who would not rather have a dedicated app that will explain exactly what you're talking about, that's interactive, that you can mess with, that's just really a throwaway app.
So
you
good.
explain it, you get rid of it. And so, it'll be interesting to see also what happens within the SaaS space, because you're no longer limited to like, this is the way QuickBooks does it. Since they're the standard, I have to pay for it. It's like, well, really, I just use them to balance my checkbook every month. So why not just have my own app that I'm not paying $80 a month for, that will do exactly what I want it to do?
Expensive. It's so expensive. I do my wife's books for her business and QuickBooks in it.
Yeah.
My wild spreadsheet that I've been maintaining for like a couple of years now, it has so many like exceptions because I've changed how things work, or how like the cadence at which things are tracked, and it like messes up a bunch of calculations. Could be translated into code so much easier and stored in a SQLite file in my iCloud drive, and like that could be an app very, very easily with a much better user experience. And I should, but like I'm also terrified to like lose anything or screw anything up, like when you vibe code something like that, you could wreck years of data, which doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Good old spreadsheet never goes bad.
Good old spreadsheet.
So it's like, the question is, are we actually coming more into this computer programming golden age? Because now everybody is a computer programmer.
I think so.
Like, what happens? And I've wondered, if everybody's making their own software, then who's buying the software? Or if we all lose our job, like, that's the other question. If we all lose our jobs, we don't have money to buy the things. So like, I don't know. It's just kind of
because you stop paying for subscriptions for apps, and you start paying for subscriptions for hosting and for building the app, right?
Models, all the things.
That's kind of what
I wonder if it's wasteful, right? Because let's say everybody vibe codes their own QuickBooks. How many tokens are burnt on that kind of crap, and like environmental effects? And like, I'm sure QuickBooks somehow isn't as intensive as everybody building their own. I don't know. Like, are we giving people the keys and reasons to just reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because sometimes we're like, I could rebuild this whole app, and I just did it with the Yodo thing. But I'm like, maybe I should have just used what was already out there. But I like mine a lot better, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, I do like the idea of personalization. I haven't, I mentioned this earlier in the show, I haven't done my own OpenClaw, but I was reading somebody's post about it because I've just been curious, how are other people setting these up and using them? And somebody said, I don't open my calendar anymore. I don't open my mail anymore. I just ask AI, what are the things on tap? And it just tells me. So, which by the way, go ahead.
It eliminates that entire UI layer. You don't really have to worry about presentation. And what's going to happen is like have y'all been hearing about this like JSON render and like streaming UI and all that kind of stuff?
I'm not.
AI
I've
will,
heard some stuff, but maybe
based
not.
on what you're asking it, the MCP server or AI will build an on-the-fly UI to display the data that you want to see. So we don't have to build UI layers anymore. Is kind of like ultimately what they're driving at. The data set is provided. The LLM knows how to crunch on that data and it can give you like a text answer, or when the streaming UI gets better, it will just dynamically build you a thing that makes sense.
But like then that goes back to what you're saying. How
Is it
much?
wasteful?
Yeah, how much
Yeah.
like power does it take to generate that
Yeah.
every single time I log into my
Every
app?
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Okay, I know we're
Otherwise,
getting
somebody goes, let's standardize on what making a finance chart looks like. Yeah, and we could put it under one domain name so that everybody can use the same thing. Yeah. Like we just full circle, you know?
It's
Did you I will say this really quick and then we can transition. Did you see that social post this past week about like energy where it had an AI fat Elon like bald? I mean, Jeff Bezos is already bald, but like, just old man Jeff Bezos and old man Sam Altman, where they were like, since we took everybody's jobs, we found out we had to have a way to power the machines.
Yes.
So then we had these exercise, everyone's on exercise bikes, like hamster wheel style, trying to provide power. So
Yes. That's funny.
that's where we're headed. Oh man. Okay. Well, I know we have gone long today, which is amazing. We have tons of stuff.
This is so fun.
Get everything on the but let's transition to the next segment of the show where we talk about picks and plugs. So these are things that we pick, things that we like, and then generally something we plug, something we've worked on, whatever. So I can go first. I'm going to pick an app called Whisperflow. So we've been talking a lot about AI orchestration and things like that. And I can type pretty fast, and this is the introvert in me. I don't always like to speak it. Sometimes I can think through it a little bit better typing, but I have become a dictation user where I'm using an app called Whisperflow. It's WIS instead of leaving out the H. But I've used that app to help type fast, or I say type faster, input faster into my computer, where you can just, pull up your agent, say what you want, and it just does it. And it does a good job of removing your your whatever pauses. But if you can also correct it and say, actually, I meant this, and it'll go through and make it all fluid. So been a huge fan of that particular app. So definitely check that out. And then
can I just say something about Whisperflow
yes.
that I actually like in comparison to Super Whisper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whisperflow essentially has two input modes: a hold to talk and a double tap to listen and a single tap to cancel. Love it. I need that flexibility. And two, it actually proves that you're speaking faster than you type. So if you go into the settings and
it shows
give
you
you a
words per
typing
minute.
test, and it'll say, this is how fast you type, and this is how fast you speak, you're saving time. And like,
yeah,
it's really good. I think I do like it better than Super Whisper, but I think I'm gonna run out of free, and I don't think they have like any free mode after your trial's done.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
They do have a free mode after the trial's done, and you're just limited, I
Do
think, 2,000 something per month or something like that. That's
see,
the thing.
I want a
That's the
free
difference.
mode where like the model is shittier and I'm uncapped at what I can say.
Yeah.
But that's Super Whisper.
Yeah.
And so
I'm probably
like,
gonna
fine,
buy.
give me the shitty model. It's fine.
I found so much productivity with Whisperflow flow that I will probably buy the $15 a month subscription. So.
Yeah, I am paying for it. The other thing, another popular one's Monologue. Monologue does throw a weird like UI thing. It's like a retro speaker box, I think, when you're talking, which is like cool, but also I'm like, it looks hokey. So but so the other thing with Whisperflow is you can install it on all your devices. So I have it.
I tried on my iPhone,
on my iPad. Yeah, it's lovely.
It's so good.
It's like a keyboard, especially this keyboard where you can just say whatever. So yeah, big fan. And then my plug, I don't really have a great plug. I don't feel like I've had a good plug in, in weeks. One of the projects I'm thinking about reviving is Build 12. So Brad will know I was gonna, Brad will know I was gonna do 12 projects last year, and it tanked. It did not launch anything. But also, I'm just been curious: is this something that I could now achieve with all the things that we can do with AI? And that's kind of an interesting test, that even though it's March and I'm still starting from zero, could I easily deliver 12 now? That the workflows and everything with orchestration and doing stuff from your phone, like could I do that this year? So that's kind of a question I've had in the back of my head. Being
It
checked
could be
out.
a testament to speed and AI workflow now,
Yeah.
rather than like the craft and building these things. The selling point is like, I made 12 apps in
Yeah.
12 months. Like that's,
Or less.
it would have been ridiculously impressive if you did it by hand, but now it's like we're validating AI workflows.
Right, for sure. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I posted this so you can put it in the show notes. But it's a minimalist markdown editor called Scratch, and it has an icon of a cat. And what they did was it's really minimal. So the goal is not to be Obsidian. It's not going to have all the slash commands, stuff like that. But you can from the Mac OS app, you can initialize a Git repository if you want to just store notes somewhere. You can just quickly write down notes in a markdown format and get them out there. And I think it's just a really cool, thoughtful. I'm all about these minimalist apps right now of just one little thing, simple. Like I don't need all the Obsidian plugins. I'm not using Obsidian anymore. But every now and then I do want to write a markdown, and I don't want to pull up Cursor or something else to write down a markdown. So if I'm drafting something or whatever. So that's going to be the app that's called Scratch. Really cool. Check it out. It's open source. Wonderful. They're accepting PRs against it. My plug. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out my brand thing. Like, what am I doing? You know,
That so existential. I'm trying to figure out me.
I'm the plug. I don't know. But like, I want to do
you
more
redesigned your website.
I want to do more. I redesigned my website. So chrisnowicki.dev. It's been a lot of work redesigning that. In fact, I tested out a lot of orchestration workflows because I wanted to learn how to do it efficiently. So added a lot of cool stuff to my site using Convex as my database. So yeah, chrisnowicki.dev, check it out. I'm figuring my life out and who I am and what I want to do in this. I want to start creating more. I want to create, and I don't know where to start or what to do. So I'm just kind of exploring there. Brad.
That is literally one of my goals this year. And I think all it comes down to, like, I used to think about like make content, and that seems like,
yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me at all. Instead, I'm just like, finish projects and talk about them. Like that's what it comes down to, is like, totally. I had to write that blog post about the Yodo thing. That was the line in the sand. It's done, you know? And I think that's just my goal. And that's why I've been like doing this electronic stuff, trying to put it on Twitter and share as I go. And then at the end, you know, write like a little wrap up blog post about like, this is what I learned. This is what I did. Done. Put it behind you. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be good enough and put out into the world.
Love it.
All right, let's see. For my stuff, I got in lieu of like doing anything big for Valentine's Day this year, my wife and I got this Mario Lego set that it's now done, except for like his leg. Like one leg is not done because we're missing a piece. So here's the link to that. It's really cool. I mean, it's pretty big, honestly. It's like, I don't know, like 1.5 feet, 2 feet long. It's probably going to go behind me somewhere, so we'll see it in the future. And we watched Love is Blind while we built the whole thing. So yeah, that's a fun show. And then for a plug, if you have a Yodo, if your kids have Yodos, my Yodo website is now up and running, yodo.bradgarapy.com. I'm gonna like subdomain everything off of bradgarapy.com. That's like my idea. And I've got like a couple more random apps I want to build, like Super Bowl Squares app, which I have like 2 separate prototypes that I'm gonna combine to make like a real thing. And a bingo app. I want to do like a live bingo app. It'd be really cool where like you could generate the sheets, and then they would come with a QR code, and you can like validate against the game that's
Oh,
going
that's
on that it
fun.
actually works. I
Win a
feel like that could be
prize.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to do it for
Yeah.
like meetings, like words that were said, because that always makes it more
What's
fun.
that?
Like
Words
if you
instead of
have,
numbers?
yeah. So
Pretty
like,
cool.
yeah, where you just productivity is like a word, and then every time if somebody says productivity, then you mark it off on your sheet or whatever other
You could
buzzword.
make like themed bingo games, yeah,
Mhm.
where it's like
Yeah.
what you're drawing is words almost instead of boring numbers. Where like, okay, this is the office themed bingo, and like
Mhm.
whatever, Jim, Pam, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more fun than numbers. That's a good
Yeah.
I
idea.
like that.
It's
That's
like you're
good.
in a meeting. I've done it that way where if it's like a boring meeting, you know, you're going into, then you just check things off as whoever's speaking says stuff.
I'm writing this down in those project notes. That's a really
Yeah.
good like idea.
Well, there you go. I love it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. The chat was a little bit more active today with some friends, so that's always fun.
great.
But if you are listening in your podcatcher of choice after the fact, please leave a rating and review. Helps other people find the show. Helps us create more fun content. Helps us build stuff and then talk about it. So for now, that's all we got. Sweet. And then because we are over, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thanks, chat.